we've been working with one of Australia's top AI consultants, and what he has shown us is frightening.
We all know AI, right? We know we're kind of just seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's possible at the moment, and fear of AI is massive at the moment. People are going, I ain't going to use that. That's not going to replace people.
If you wanted to, you could probably replace 80% of humans in this business. Daniel Priestley was saying, if you've got the AI stack in your business right, you can achieve the same with 30 people as what 10 years ago you would have needed 300. You will be fine until you get that knock on the door from your boss or that email, hey, can you come see me in my office? Unfortunately, your role's not needed anymore. Bang, fuck, should have done this 3 years ago. I've actually done a bit of a 5-step process. It's how people can build leverage in practice, because I don't want us just to talk about this shit and people are going, okay, well, how can I do that? So, step 1.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Two Blokes, One Business podcast with Big Powley and Small World.
Fuck, I said let's have a bit of fun at the start of this episode. I didn't think I'd be abused for my vertical challengement. Don't you?
All right, come on, sharpen up.
Yeah, no, I actually want to share something. This morning. He's a good lad. I've taken a massive step forward in my bold career.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was on the electric Pitbull skull shaver. I've now transitioned to the full razor blade.
So talk me through that.
So when you're it's like a gateway drug. It's like the Pitbull skull shaver, like the rotary things, and you roll it on your head. It gets you bald, but it's still just a little bit of stubble because it's just impossible to go.
A couple of bongs.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just not down to the skin. And I was actually having a shower on the weekend, and fucking my impulsive personality, I had to Brit's razor there, and I was like, I wonder if it would be much different. So I've walked up to the mirror and just got a big stripe down the middle of my head. I've run my finger across. Oh God, oh boy.
Shit.
I've got to do the whole thing now. Otherwise, it would have grown out. I've had a stripe down the middle of my head. Anyway, yeah, I did it, and feels incredible. I've actually done a fresh one this morning. Do you want to feel?
Yep. Fucking hell. Jesus. That is smooth.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, real good.
Yeah.
Is it less convenient?
Do you know what? I think the time's probably about the same. You've got to concentrate a lot more.
I can imagine it.
Yeah, obviously razor blade, you slip and you're fucked. But
that's what Louis does. He fucking just takes chunks out of his head all the time.
That's why he's got no brain cells. Yeah, so it's good, man. Yeah.
Can you give us a really cringy reference back to business? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's just about depth, isn't it? You think you're going really fucking deep and you've got it sorted, but when you actually really unearth the layers, you can get way closer to the skin. There's just a bit more to go.
I would have gone for. And that's just the beauty of upgrading your tools. You think you're using the best thing in the market, then you find someone else and it fits the purpose better.
a bit like when you tried to fix your toilet and you got covered in shit.
Yeah, that was crap.
What are we talking about today? Oh, Rosie, our podcast manager, she basically just goes, boys, cameras are on, I've hit record, go and sit down, fucking talk about something, make it funny and interesting. And we're like, all right.
And that's the end of that.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Today's a good one. Today is talking about you are fucked.
You are actually fucked.
So we all know, and this is obviously part of my world at the moment, is AI. Right? We know
AI-dom.
AI-dom, yeah. We know it's here. We know it's coming. We know that we're kind of just seeing the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's possible at the moment, and whatever you think kind of gets obsolete within a couple of weeks because things move so quick, which is awesome. And I think we spoke before about fear, right? And fear of AI is massive at the moment. People are going, I ain't going to use that. That's not going to replace people. Yes, the fuck it is.
It is, because we've been working with one of Australia's top AI consultants, and what he has shown us is frightening. The big man, Josh O'Sullivan. Go and check him out if you're interested in AI and AI Institute with Benny Handler. But if you wanted to, you could probably replace 80% of humans in this business. We are not going to, because that's not our style, and we're big believers of the best businesses will be humans enabled by AI, and by enabled I mean back-end processes so they can spend more time client-facing. But you could quite literally replace most of the people in this business with AI agents and automation. So as I'd said, if you don't think you're fucked, we're fucked.
And that's obviously a bit of a
joke.
Clickbait type thing to
that's
say.
That's a hook.
Yeah, that's a hook, right?
Yeah.
Cheers, Hormozy. What it actually means is if you're not on the ship, you're going to get left behind pretty quick. And being on the ship doesn't mean that you've got to turn into this full kid who sat in their mum's basement clacking away and coding, right? It just means that you look at what goes on in your life, you look at things that you do which aren't that high value, but they take a bit of time and you probably don't love doing them. But can we go and leverage AI to get rid of that? Which for you then means you've got more time to do things you, one, really, really enjoy, or two, give you a good return, whatever that return is. That might be more time with your friends, right? That might be more money in your pocket. It might be more satisfaction in terms of what you've achieved. Just having the mindset of going, what can I use this tool, which is exactly what it is, to help me with, to replace things I don't necessarily want to do. That's at its core what the shift is going to be. And unfortunately, what that means is if your livelihood is built around just doing things that can be replaced quite easily, it's probably a bit of a scary time. And there's probably going to be a lot of crisis that comes out as our AI gets, further along, because there are going to be jobs that just get wiped out. Now, there will be more jobs created that are more fit for purpose with the world we're going into. But there's going to be people who are looking there going, shit, what I've been doing for the last 20 years, I'm not going to be able to do for the next 20. So at what point do I kind of make a shift, and what do I look to do if I'm in that shoes?
It's happening already. Google have laid off like hundreds of people. Meta are laying off hundreds of people. Like, it's happening already. I think the best way to view AI is it's going to, people that are using it and using it right, it is going to make people so much more efficient, which means people can either work less if they're self-employed, or businesses will be able to create 2, 3, 4, 5 times the output with the same workforce that are enabled by AI. Like Daniel Priestley was saying on a podcast I was listening to earlier, you can now achieve with, if you've got AI, the AI stack in your business right, you can achieve the same with 30 people as what 10 years ago you'd have needed 300. That's frightening. It's kind of like a good analogy was when cars were invented, right? You got the horse and cart. It'd always been the same way for years, and that was only ever going to be it. What the fuck is this car? Well, now it just meant that people could get from A to B so much quicker. So in the same amount of time, they were able to do so many more journeys now, or travel so much further. That is what effectively AI is compared to our current tech stack, but like fucking on steroids. Like, it ain't just you can do 3 more journeys than what the horse is. It's like you can do 3 million more journeys if you get it right.
Unless you had a really good horse.
If you're on red rum.
I'm probably a perfect example of this. So when this comes out, I'm getting married this weekend. So I'm under the pump. Family's here. I'm trying to be in a million places at once, but I've got obviously a lot of work to do. So I came in this morning, nice and quiet, and just smashed out probably about 5 hours worth of work without AI in an hour. And what I did was, first one was, what was it? I did 29 pieces of content for Rosie for the new Instagrams that we've launched. I built a ChatGPT referencing all of these key sources that I want to emulate, all of the sources of truth about what we're trying to talk about to get those 29 pieces of content. Then I created a Notion calendar using Notion AI to filter those into, to now it's a really easy, clean format for Rosie to go and grab. That genuinely would have taken about a week, potentially, before AI. Bang, done. And that's a massive weight off the shoulders, knowing that I've got probably another, what would that be, 2 weeks of content now to be scheduled so I can really just dive in to the wedding. Huge. Then I'm building a shortlist out for a senior PM role at the moment. So we do obviously detailed meeting notes on top of that. So I've taken the transcript, I've got the role brief, I've got the CV, and now I've put all of that in. So I've got detailed meeting notes plus a little summary there, which again, if I was typing all that out myself, would have taken me ages. Real low value, mundane shit. And then I've had 4 jobs I registered yesterday. Same thing. I've got to go and create all these role briefs using the transcripts, using research of the companies. Bang, that's all done. So that is genuinely a substantial amount of work in 1 hour. And mentally, I'm just like ticked off.
Yeah. I think a good way to look at it, like what we're achieving in terms of output of just billing in our recruitment business. Like, the last 4 weeks, I did north of 50K. You did $95,000 in a 4-week period. And I would say at the moment, we're probably recruiting 20 to 25% of our time. Now, going back 3 years in our previous agency, both of those results, obviously yours more than mine because it was a lot higher, would have been from 40 hours of pure recruitment time and it would have been an outstanding result.
You literally get a trophy.
Yeah, you do get a trophy, don't you?
Yeah.
And that was celebrated, and we've just gone and crunched that out in probably 10 hours.
And the worst thing is, and we sound like a bit of a twat, there's no trophy. There's a nice one, mate, go and do it again. Like, that's kind of the expectation we've got as a business. And I'm not sharing that to say we're better than everyone else. That's what's possible and capable with the way we've kind of set things up and moved things, and what our role is, and what we've got support, and the tools and the AI. That's now kind of the pass mark, right? For us, if we're speaking numbers, pass mark every 4 weeks is 75K each. And then we have the trades and labour division on top of that as well.
Yeah.
That's an obscene amount of money in the real world. In recruitment, it's big. It's not as crazy as it would be if you're walking down the street with that kind of money in your pocket. Typically, in recruitment, if you can do 30K in a period or in a month, that's your pass mark. Great, pat on the back. You've done your job this month. Well done. You've probably made a nice bit of comms. The company's made a bit of money.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy. On you go. See you Monday. So for us to be knocking out 75s just to tick the boxes, fuck, and we're not superhuman, right?
Nah. 30K a month. That's so achievable now with the tech stack that's available. If you've got good process, good systems, you can stand out. If you're doing that for yourself as well, like imagine if you're a one man or one woman band, 30K a month. That's what, 2 placements. I think with the right process, the right tech stack, the right personal brand, you could knock that over in 10 to 15 hours of work a week, really, I think.
Yeah, the world's changing, right? It's not just about making the most noise now and being the most loud person in the world. It's about really speaking direct to the exact person you're trying to target, right? Proving through social proof, proving through stories the value you bring to people, and then attracting those people in, rather than just cold calling 1,000 people. Hey, I'm Harvey from, do you want to fucking work with me or what?
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, that can work as well.
Shave my head with a fucking razor today. I'm elite.
Can you build your content out like that? That could be your whole kind of philosophy and belief, and then companies want to work with you, people want to work with you, and then you get into that rhythm. But 30K, it's the pass mark, but that's level 1. Like when you get good at this game and when you start to build a rep, when you truly understand the position you play between candidate and client, 30K is a no-brainer.
Oh, mate, imagine that you're an engineer right now. You're on maybe 120, 140K a year. And in engineering, to be fair, the average fee is probably more than 15K. It's probably about 20. So if you can go and place
at least,
two,
probably 25, 30.
Yeah, you go and place even 1 or 2 engineers. Say you could 2 engineers a month, which again, I think you could still do in a comfortable amount of time for yourself. You're what, 40, 50K a month across the year. You're at 50K a month. That's $600,000. So you've just 4x'd your yearly salary. You're doing it for yourself, and you're probably doing it in a fraction of the time. And you got the freedom to go and pick your kids up from school. But that's a conversation for another time, because we don't want to talk about us, we don't want to talk about recruitment necessarily, but today what we want to do is talk about what the everyday person listening to this who might be in a salary needs to look out for in AI, because we honestly believe that job security is dead.
What jobs do you reckon are AI proof?
I had this conversation with Britt, because obviously we've got young kids now, and I was like, she's like, what sort of route do you think it would be good for them to go down? Like, see, if it was me right now and I was a fucking kid again or 16, I'd either learn a trade, because the day that an AI agent comes and knocks up a house, we're fucked. I would either learn AI and go into AI as a job, because there are going to be some businesses paying massive money for that skill set, because the potential and the ROI it could unlock. So I think a good AI consultant can name their price. Or the third one is I'd be going self-employed in something. So whether it's recruitment, whether it's accounting, consulting, I'd be going on my own, so I have full control and full accountability and full ownership on absolutely everything. The scary thing is if you're not in the strategic leadership team or the exec team of a company, and you don't have the oversight to make the calls on how we're utilizing AI, what we're investing in AI, you are effectively one investment, one AI agent, or one decision away from losing your job. Whereas I think to a client I've worked with for years, she's a CFO in the e-com space, super impressive, worked for some big brands, Princess Polly and people like that. She has gone as a consultant. So she is now a CFO consultant for e-com brands. So she has full control over her future. She can choose what AI systems or AI tech stack she uses. She can choose how many hours she works. She can choose the price that she charges for her services, because she knows she's been on the other side, right? She knows what her skill set can unlock for that business. So she is now in full control. No matter what happens in the world, she has the adaptability and the speed to be able to pivot on that. Whereas if she was still in one of these big ecom brands, remember that guy we met at the fucking lunch thing, the YP event? I think I was talking to him more than you.
Yeah, he's all over it.
He had a massive group of businesses, I'd say north of 100 mil. He sacked his entire C-suite and just created personalized AI agents or AI bots for each role. So he had a chief legal officer, chief people officer, chief marketing officer, chief financial officer, and he would literally just talk to these bots, saved himself $1 million a year in salary. I don't think that's the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's what people can do if they choose to.
And people will do as well. Depends what you value. Right?
Yeah.
If it's profit over everything, then why not? But I think you're right. I think control is the big one. Being in control of your own fate and your own destiny as much as possible. Obviously, shit goes on in life that you can't really control, but rather than being that, let's use the finance example, the head of finance who's at the beck and call of whatever decision the CFO wants to make, go and be the person who's in control of your decisions. You know, I think you're right. I think trades, they'll always need more trades, and particularly in Australia right now, there's a housing shortage. So we're screaming out for tradies anyway.
Yeah.
And I think if you can kind of blend all three there, you're probably onto the most successful pathway ever. You can be a tradie who runs their own business and leverages AI. Fuck, you are going to be a hell of a powerhouse.
Yeah. It's a crazy time, isn't it? How do people, someone's listening to this now and they're going, okay, that's brilliant. Like, no, and we're not trying to scare everyone. Like we're trying to pass on the knowledge that we know and how people can get ahead of the curve. Because like I was getting Daniel Priestley on that podcast this morning. He says, we've probably got until mid 2027 to keep playing around with AI. So there's another 2 years really just to keep playing around with it. Not going to fucking ruffle too many feathers. 2027 to 2032, the 5-year period after that, he's like, that's where we all need to be learning it as if it was emails or text conversations. Because he said, otherwise you're going to severely get left behind. And from the 5 years following that, from 2032 to 2037, because if your business is not heavily leveraged and enabled by AI, by 2037, your business won't exist anymore. So that's, I guess, the 10 to 12 year transition he sees. So we probably want to, with that 2 year frame window in mind of just getting familiar with it, if people start now, they can really, really set themselves up for success.
What if you're working in a role where you haven't got that opportunity? Let's say you're an engineer. Let's use that example. You're working on a site, you're building a motorway, the Coomera connector. How do you go and leverage AI? How do you go and put these steps in place? So in 10 years' time, when all of the design and the programming and whatever else can be done with AI, obviously that's quite controversial, would ever be as good as us, who knows? But let's say for this example, it is. What could you do right now to kind of prepare yourself and, weapon up to get ready for this?
Good question. If it was me, I would be learning AI because, as you said, we're going to go on a pathway where the design, the back end is all going to be done automated pretty quickly. So at the moment, you might need 10 engineers on the Coomera Connect, for example. In 5 years, when that back end's automated, you are probably only going to need 4 or 5 engineers. So you need to make sure that you're one of those 4 or 5 engineers. Now, although the back end and the design will be heavily automated, it will still take the 5 engineers that remain to use that AI. So I think if you're the one that can actually learn it, how to use it, then you will remain.
Yeah.
Functionality versus vitality is a great way to put it.
Jesus.
I had this conversation with this CFO, and obviously in the accounting world, which is my world, there are functional roles in a finance function. So that would be an accounts officer who processes invoices, sends them out, does bank reconciliations. There is already tech platforms and AI components to big accounting systems that can do that. So those roles that are more functionality based are going to be replaced. It's happening already. Whereas vitality is as you go higher up. So you have a finance business partner. So I am the finance representative for this big company that goes and partners with the operations manager, the HR department, things like that, looking at their budgets. That needs a human to do that. So that's where you need to start learning those skills, which then push you into the vitality side of things, because then they can't let you go.
So I think what's super cool with that is AI, yes, learn the technical side of it's so important, but what's equally just as important is the soft skills, right? You need to know AI, you need to know tech, but then you also know how to connect with people, how to influence people, how to build rapport, build relationships, build trust. Because without both of those, you're just the nerdy tech guy no one really wants to hang around with, or you're just a sleazy salesman who doesn't have any context and depth. So if you can kind of leverage both, that's going to be the real winners. And I think going back to business, it's the same thing, right? It's all about your skill acquisition. What can you learn? How much can you learn? How many strings to the bow can you put in place? And it all comes back to human connection. You could be the best in the world at whatever you do, but if one, people don't know about you, and then two, they don't trust you, you haven't got a business.
Hey guys, it's Jake and Lockie from Naturally Cooked Sunscreen, and we are pumped to be sponsoring the Two Blokes, One Business podcast.
We're on a mission to foster a generation of Australians who take sun safety more seriously and encourage it amongst their mates. You can find us at naturallycooked.com.au or follow us at Naturally Cooked Sunscreen.
Yeah, you love it. It's the polar opposites are going to become far more popular, isn't it?
The old Bartlett. Shall I do it?
Yeah, go on.
So Bartlett says, actually Adam says, when one thing gets really, really popular in the world, and then the reference he used was Spotify, right, and streaming, so then does the total opposite as well. So as Spotify's blowing up, so is people buying vinyl records because they want something to touch, something tangible, something nostalgic even. So AI is going to be exactly the same. The more we can replace, or the more that human interaction gets replaced with AI and things just get done on automation and things happen really, really fast, people are also then going to want to maximize human connection on the other side of the scale too. So, and this is exactly the kind of the belief we've got at Harway is, yes, we want to be the most AI-enabled agency, in the country, to then free up time for more human connection, more time with clients, more time with the team, more time with candidates, more time at golf days, more time doing these fucking podcasts.
This isn't actually Harvey and Adam.
Yeah.
AI.
That's the magic. Right.
Yeah. I think to close off this segment, I think it's probably three things that people need to think about. The leverage trifecta.
Oh, God. It's good.
No, you've got, skills leverage. So can you start to learn and acquire skills that are only going to compound with AI? So will be enhanced, supported with AI. Network leverage. So even if you're still employed for someone, start building a large network within your sector, within your profession, because one day that's a network that you could effectively translate into income. And then the last one will be system leverage. So again, even if you're an employee, what systems can you start to use that are within the company, but also what can you start to use just within your role, which enhance you, and be the one that actually drives that within the company? Because if you're the one that comes with a new AI tool and goes, hey guys, I think I can cut 10 hours off everyone's fucking output in this team with this new AI tool I found, you're straight to the top of that pile. You're the one that they're going to invest in and go, cool, do you like this shit? Do you want to kind of take the lead on it? Then you're not the one that's getting made redundant.
I think one thing you said to me a couple of days ago was about being an intrapreneur.
Oh, yeah.
Which I loved. And I think basically those three things you've said there is having those kind of traits, right? Having the traits to look at something as a problem and go, okay, how can I improve this? How can I fix this? Where's the bottleneck? What can I enhance here to make the whole workflow just go better? Rather than just be Susan sat in accounts.
Susan gets a pepper in from
Yeah, she does. And just saying, that's the way it's always been done. Great, Susan, but 20 years ago, we didn't have a keyboard, right? Maybe 30. And now we've got AI is going to go and do all of that without even tapping a keyboard, right? So you need to kind of be the person who looks kind of above and beyond the current state. Okay, what does 5 years, what does 10 years look like? And kind of go and challenge that with energy. Go for it rather than kind of sit there and be a bit scared and sit and have those conversations with everyone else who's scared around you about AI and what it's going to do. Be the person to go, actually, this is an opportunity, because it is. It massively is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to our world, right? A tool as simple as Whisperflow.
So good.
Joshy shared Whisperflow with us. For people that don't know, check it out. Whisperflow, but without the E in Whisper.
And the H.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Fuck. I need to find an AI bot to spell for me. But it is basically a thing you download on your computer and you can dictate into any any platform or any app, would you say? So for our guys, where we're wearing headphones all day because we're on phone calls quite a lot, but we write so many emails, we're delivering prompts into ChatGPT, things like that. We're sending text messages. You have Whisper Flow and you shortcut it to a key on your keyboard. So when I send Adam an email, I just hold down control and I just talk the email. I reckon our recruitment agency will have the lowest keyboard usage in the whole of Australia now, because we shared that to our team and they're using it in LinkedIn Recruiter when they're messaging people. Katie said to me the other day, she's like, the level of service I can provide is so much better. Because even when I message someone, they say, hey, Katie, thanks for touching base, but I'm not interested in that job. She's like, I can hit this key and just go, hey, Adam, thanks so much for letting me know. Look, we operate in this space quite heavily. If anything changes on your end, please keep us in mind. Thanks, Katie. That took me, 5 seconds? That's taking you half a minute to type out. So you can do 6 of them in the time that you used to be able to do 1. And that's just one tiny little tool and the impact that can have to Katie's world.
It's particularly Andy, right? Andy's the best use case.
He ran out of words, didn't he?
Andy's not very computer literate, right? He doesn't really know how to use emails. He doesn't know how to find fucking calendar invites, but he's a weapon at what he does. So Whisper Flow has literally removed the thing he's pretty shit at, sitting there and typing big, long emails, and lets him do what he's naturally very, very good at, which is talking. So he sits there and just smashes it. He probably speaks genuinely 50 candidates a day, probably 50 clients a day. I want to see the stats in terms of what we've saved him in terms of time, but he is on fire at the moment.
Yeah, and I think there's levels to it, because even with something, and this is not what we're talking about today, but something as simple as Whisper Flow, I've noticed a much better response to my emails, because I'm now writing emails exactly how I talk, because I'm actually talking the email. It's almost like you're just sending a voice note. So, it's so many people, they get on emails and it's all this professional language. I'm like, how have you been? You don't say that at the start of every time. We're not in this conversation starting every sentence with, how have you been? Like, stop talking like that. But now I just email how I talk, and the level of relationship, it's just so much more human.
It's so good. It's so good. Let's talk about job security. All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Because again, this goes back to the way you're brought up by your parents, which goes back to the way they're brought up by theirs. Go to school, go to college, go to uni, get a job, buy a house, buy a dog, have kids, life's good, right? And you think there's security in that by working for a big corporate company. Oh, they're massive, right? We're going to be there forever. And previously people did spend 20, 30 years, 40 years at the same company. Life's a lot different now. And I think the way the market moves, there's bigger impact both sides because of the transformation and the things that are coming out. You can't guarantee that just because you've got a PAYG full-time permanent contract, that means you're set for life. There's so many different scenarios that play out in the modern world compared to what they did in our parents' generation, where even if you work for a 3-person company or you work for a multi-billion-dollar multinational organization, your job is always 1 month away from being scrapped at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that conversation we've just had about how little we now use our keyboards. If more people start to use Whisper Flow, I wouldn't want to be working for a keyboard manufacturing company. It's as simple as that.
So true.
Within 1, 2, 3 years, they're going to sell less keyboards. They're going to need less people. You're gone.
Yes, there will always need to be good people in good companies. That's what's going to be the differentiator. And that's why we're so bullish on recruitment in general. But it's the people there who do expect just to tick over week to week, month to month, year to year, doing the same stuff, not really growing their skills, not really showing they're keen to progress in the company, just the one to rock up every day. You are the most unsecure person in the company, rather than being in someone where you've got control over your future, like running your own business, where if you want to go and make more money, you can go and take the actions to go and get that more revenue through the door and you're in control of it, rather than hoping that, again, if you're Susan in accounts, hoping that the guys who do run the sales team, hoping the guys who do the marketing get it right. So you do have leads coming in and they do sell more stuff so you can process more invoices. How much of that are you just sat there going, fuck, I'm not in control of any of this?
Yeah, I think if you go back to skill leverage, to make yourself more secure in a company, it's that skill leverage. So you need to go and seek out and learn new skills that can be enhanced with AI so you are more secure in your job. Now, when you strip that away, you're almost an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You're almost, we look back to that intrapreneur. So if you can then go, okay, well, I'm doing this in another company if I can get over the fear, and I say insecurity, but I don't really feel it is insecurity, but it is scary at the start. Like it's easy for us. We're a few years in, but it is scary at the start. If you can doing that for someone else, why don't you go and do it for yourself? And that's why we're so passionate about entrepreneurship. And I do think there's going to be an interesting shift. I think entrepreneurship, especially in somewhere like the Gold Coast in Australia, already seems to be on the rise. And I think when we talk about tech, there is so many 20, 30-year-olds on the Gold Coast that are millionaires because they've just adapted it and gone fully into this world, and they're doing really well because of it. But I think there's going to be a huge shift to entrepreneurship. I've met more CFOs that have gone out and done consulting in the last 2 years than I did in the previous 3. Like there's a shift happening. So I think that's where people need to start potentially turning their attention to.
And there's obviously a myriad of reasons why people are doing it. There's freedom of time, freedom of task as well. You get to do what you want to do. Obviously, there's different tax benefits if you're a company rather than if you're a PAYG that you can use and leverage. Like, there's so many different reasons why people are doing it. But I think the number one core, how much easier is it? 2, that's good. To have passion when it's your own name on the door.
Yeah.
Right? You're not doing something because John, your boss, has told you to do it. You're doing it because you've listened to a podcast and then you go, fuck, that's inspired me to go and take action. And then you take the action and then it works. And you go, wow, that podcast I listened to is God.
Hang on. Sorry, guys.
The podcast you listened to was obviously good. I'm going to listen to another episode. Shit, I've learned 2 more things. I'm going to put those into practice as well. Just your own energy source because of it, right? And that's the one thing that's so hard to get across to people who aren't in business, because you kind of sound like you're trying to sell it to yourself rather than sell it to them. But it's the number one job satisfaction or satisfaction in life that I've got now, is that we just get to be so playful with everything we want to do, and we just give things a crack and we learn and we try, and some things work and some things don't, and then we just go again. You can't have that freedom in someone else's company.
Here's how simple it is. I've listened recently to a really good episode from Alex Hormozy on personal branding. Rosie, our marketing manager, shared that with us. Go into ChatGPT and go dictate into ChatGPT, so you can give a proper prompt. Say hello if you want. Take all of your knowledge from the recent Alex Hormozy podcast episode about personal branding and translate it into my world. I am a co-founder of a specialist recruitment agency called Harwell. We're currently at 8 staff. We are moving towards being the most AI-enabled recruitment agency in the country. We're looking to expand over the next 3 years. Me specifically, I recruit high-level finance and executive. So my ICP is a CFO and a CEO. They have XYZ problem. Here's the results I get for them. Here's the things I solve for them. Now create me 15 pieces of content based off that, as well as your knowledge from the Alex Hormozy podcast episode. Done.
Bang.
You've got 15 pieces of content directed straight at your ICP, which you need to refine, unless you've built out personalized GPTs and projects over years like we have now, so they're pretty bang on with our tone. You will need to slightly make more refinements. Use Harvey Rivers' casual tone. I like to speak like this in free-flowing sentences rather than short. You can go on and on and on, but you've got some elite level content, and that would have took you, 2 minutes?
We could charge for that, mate. That was really, really good.
Thanks, mate. I made that up on the spot.
That was gold. Job security. Why would someone choose to stay in a big company rather than back themselves, mate?
There are certain industries and jobs where if you wanted to go self-employed, the capital investment is just far too high.
Yeah.
Like to go, I want to think of a good example. You want to say you're a builder or you're a project manager, you want to go and start your own construction company. The machinery you need, the licensing you need, the leverage in terms of being able to get financing facilities, like that doesn't just happen overnight. So there are some careers that are very, very difficult to go and do that. Whereas if you're an accountant, you're a qualified tax accountant, you have your CA or CPA qualification, all you need is your laptop and some systems to go out and start consulting for yourself or offering bookkeeping services. So there are definitely some transitions that are a lot easier. Like for us with the recruitment, we needed a laptop, because you don't even need a phone nowadays, because your CRM system that you're going to set up through your laptop has a mobile phone plugged into it. And most people already own a laptop. So other than initially a bit of branding, some logos, which you can now do through ChatGPT for absolutely nothing. We did this logo through ChatGPT for absolutely nothing. Other than that, you what, $500 to start your CRM platform on day one and you're off. That's such an easy investment and transition. Like recruitment, you don't even need licenses. It's easier than real estate where you need to actually go and obtain your real estate license.
And if you've been in a role that you know is talent short, if you're an accountant, an engineer, you're in manufacturing facilities, you're a doctor, whatever it is, you already know your ICP. You are the ICP. You already know your first client. That's your old boss. You know, your first candidate. That's who you shared a dorm with at uni. Like, you've got the hardest bit to learn, which is the actual technical expertise in the network. You just got to take your head out of blinkers and look at the skill set you've got and what you've got to play with, and then find different ways to create income from it. Like, I get so excited with this stuff.
Yeah, and just, I think, try and spot trends in the market. Like the e-commerce industry at the moment is one of the fastest growing industries in Australia. So that lady I spoke about earlier in this episode, who was a CFO working, she was doing stupid hours, man. Like she was doing 60, 70 hours a week, and she would have replaced her full salary probably with 20 hours a week of consulting. But in an industry like e-commerce, where there's new brands popping up every single day, it's one of the fastest growing industries in Australia. She's probably able to make that move to self-employment with the comfort that there is going to be enough work out there. And there's actually power in being one of the first to do it, because people like her will go and have insane success, whether she chooses to scale and can create a multi-million-dollar empire, or whether she goes, I'm going to work 20 hours a week, earn 500 grand a year, and just be with my young kids and my family. People are going to clue on to either one of those and go, shit, I need to do that. So soon enough, a lot more people are going to follow, and it might be a bit more difficult to make that change. But she's obviously looked at the market, looked at the economy, and made an educated decision off that.
I think the mindset side of it, I'm thinking now, because you're bang on. Like everything you've said, everything we've covered here, it all makes a lot of logical sense. So what's the barrier, right? And it's the emotional part of the brain. I mean, logically, people would most likely agree that AI is going to have a big impact. You know, they've got skills they can leverage. There's different ways they could do that. And probably the life they probably want to see when they picture it in their head, that will become achieved by being able to have some self-control by running their own business. So why don't people do it? And I think it's that the pleasure of getting there and the pain of not isn't strong enough. They're sat kind of somewhere in the middle where life's fine. You know, I make 100 grand a year. I can pay my bills. I can save a bit and go on a couple of holidays. I can buy some new shoes. It's pretty cool. I don't mind actually Susan, an accountant. She's actually quite fun. We have a good chat. Life's good. My boss, yeah, it's quite good. We get pizza on a Friday. It's not bad at all. There's not that burning desire to motivate you to make a change. Not like if you're someone who's working 12-hour days, you know, sweeping construction sites, potentially. You know, you might be going, fuck, there's more out there for me to go and achieve.
Yeah, and until you experience a trigger event, that pain probably won't be big enough, because we can sit here and talk about job security, and I'm sure there's people that will see some of these clips, will be listening and going, you two are chatting crumpet. Like, whatever. That's fine. And you will be fine. And it might be 2 years, it might be 3 years, it might be 4 years, but you will be fine until you get that knock on the door from your boss or that email. Hey, can you come see me in my office? Hey, company's made some different structure changes and we're investing a lot more into tech and AI. Unfortunately, your role's not needed anymore. Bang, fuck, should have done this 3 years ago.
Ouch.
I've actually done a bit of a 5-step process.
Okay.
And I'm going to read this from the computer because this is not from Harv's knowledge. Okay. This is what I've sought out. But it's how people can build leverage in practice, because I don't want us just to talk about this shit and people are going, okay, well, how can I do that? So if you don't mind, I will.
I'm so ready.
Step 1 is audit your existing skills. So what that means is, what do people already pay you for? And even if you're an employee, again, say I'm an employee for a gym, I'm a personal trainer. Even if the gym pay you a wage, people pay you for training. So you've got to cut out the middleman of the company and go, people pay me for training them. So there you go. There's your existing skill set. Step 2, identify where your knowledge could solve problems outside of your employer. So in a lot of cases, it's kind of removing the employer and going and finding your own clients, but doing the same thing, potentially at a smaller scale initially. Step 3 is building network awareness. So that's reconnecting with old colleagues, ex-bosses and peers. A few different levels to that. One, if you stay as an employee for the next 10 years, more connections brings more knowledge, more opportunity. So it's not going to be a bad thing. But if you ever do decide to make the transition, you've got a much bigger pool to potentially translate into income from day one. Step number 4, learn to productize your experience. So whether it's service, consulting, recruiting, freelancing, we've discussed a lot of opportunities there. But if I was someone, even if I was an employee and do you know what, I don't want to change yet, just start to think, if I did get let go tomorrow, where could I start tomorrow for myself and monetize my experience? Number 5 is focus on systems. So it's not necessarily social media fame. It definitely helps in today's day and age, but reliable, repeatable client processes. And that's it. That's your 5-step thing that I think people can reflect on now, write that down. And it's a bit of a fail safe.
I think so, mate. And that, along with even what we did earlier with ChatGPT, right, about the podcast and the content tips, all of the information you could ever need and want is out there. You don't even have to pay to play if you don't want to. We're obviously big believers in doing that. If you wanted to just research any single topic in the world, every bit of information is at your fingertips.
Love it. Do you think that makes sense to people, that 5-step process?
I like that a lot. The key headlines are, if you feel your job is secure, really, really understand why it is, because definitely some are super important, that person's role for the company. Don't believe it is just because you work for a big company who a lot of people know about. That's probably one of the big things to reflect on and look at. Find out a bit of deathbed wisdom, actually. To find out if you're on your deathbed, right, you're 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, you're going to shut your eyes for the last time. If the trajectory you're on right now, if that was going to play out, and then you get to that point in time where you're on your deathbed, has that been a life that is worthy of living? Have you given an absolute crack? Have you learned? Have you got a few scars to share about? Have you got a few stories? Have you set yourself goals and smashed them? Have you set yourself goals and failed and learned and gone again? Have you got a story worth telling? Or are you just ticking over week to week, month to month?
I really like that. And I don't want people to think this episode is us saying everyone must be entrepreneurs, because realistically, a world where there is no companies and everyone's just one man or one woman bands, it could never exist. Like, it's impossible. But if you're listening to this and going, I love being an employee, I love my workplace, what we're trying to teach you is how you can make yourself so bulletproof and secure within that company that you never, ever have to worry about being let go. Because that's just as valuable as going out and starting your own thing, especially if it's a company you love and you're super passionate about it. Go and find the skills and leverage to make sure in your team or your role within your company, you're in the top 1 or 2 people, because you're always going to be safe in that instance.
Mate, I love it.
That was good fun.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. We learned a lot. We learned that you're using the razor. We learned a bit of special breathing to help you.
Yeah, that was good.
I can speak as well.
I hope we don't have to do that halfway through your wedding speech. Hang on, guys. Sorry, 1 minute.
Fucking hell. I guess next time you hear from me, I'll be a married man.
You will. Good work, mate. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week.
See you next time.